Boss tells Muslim her burqa isn't safe for new job duties. Here's what happened when she didn't listen. Another scumbag Muslim strikes again. This time in Canada, where the Muslim population is less than 4% but they still believe they are special and need special treatment. An Edmonton Muslim woman who can't seem to be able to live in the 21st century with the rest of us was fired from her oil sands job after raising concerns about so-called Islamophobia. She claimed multiple co-workers stated the fact that it might be a hazard to this religion of peace disciple if she insists on wearing her burqa and while performing the duties she was hired to perform. Social justice liberals, of course, got wind of the situation, and since they always seem to be on the side that opposes the civilized world, they urged Calgary-based Husky Oil Company to address workplace discrimination and offer Amina Rashid and two colleagues who were also fired new jobs. Liberals, of course, urged Calgary-based Husky Oil Company to address so-called workplace discrimination and offer Amina Rashid and two of her colleagues who were also fired new jobs. Husky Energy added that it would investigate their recent termination by subcontractor Newcard Contracting Incorporated, after being contacted about the case by CBC News last week. CBC News reports. The Edmonton woman fired from her oil sands job after raising concerns about Islamophobia welcomed news of an investigation by Husky Energy. Social justice advocates urged the Calgary-based multinational oil company to address workplace discrimination and offer Amina Rashid and two colleagues who were also fired new jobs. Husky Energy said it would investigate their recent termination by subcontractor Newcard Contracting Incorporated, after being contacted about the case by CBC News. I was really happy to hear that because it meant that they were taking me seriously, said Rashid, who has filed a complaint with the Alberta Human Rights Commission. Husky Energy investigates after fired Muslim workers launch human rights complaint against contractor. Rashid, a student at York University in Toronto who was counting on the income to cover student loans and living expenses, was hired to work on a maintenance project at the Husky Upgrader in Lloydminster, Saskatchewan. But she and her colleagues were fired on June 3, just 11 days into their contract. Earlier that day, they had complained about an Islamophobic incident targeting Rashid, the second incident in days. In both interactions involving two different workers, Rashid was told to take that thing off her head, referring to her hijab. The men argued that if they couldn't wear hoodies then she couldn't either, said Rashid, an account backed by witnesses who also spoke to CBC News. Husky's Lloydminster Upgrader, where three Edmontonians believe they were fired for reporting Islamophobic incidents. Husky Energy. Newcard declined to discuss the case, citing privacy legislation. The company said in a statement it provides a safe, inclusive employment experience and accommodates religious requirements whenever possible under workplace health and safety policy and legislation. But the tape recording of Rashid and her colleagues confronting their supervisors provides more insight into their dismissal. One manager said Newcart was starting to cut back on workers and the trio were randomly selected. When pressed, the manager explained random meant he chose their names from the sign-in sheet. He warned that they were no longer eligible for rehire on the next project because of their behavior, and defended the workers' comparison of the hijab to a hoodie. The supervisor did not raise safety concerns about Rashid's hijab, and she said she was told earlier it wasn't an issue. Safety issue or Islamophobia? Rashid's story has sparked fierce debate online, with many insisting it was a case of Islamophobia or ignorance while others argued it was about safety. It's a huge safety issue. No hoodies or baggy clothes that can get caught in machinery, wrote one person on Facebook. A longtime oil industry worker who wrote to CBC said any head covering, hoodie, raincoat hood first had to be fire retardant, adding the items could also cause a blind spot and people have been hit by moving equipment from this. My question is, at what point do you draw a line? In her job as a safety watch, Rashid looked out for the safety of her co-workers, including watching what they wear. She said Newhart and Husky told her they had no concerns with her hijab, but on previous projects when other company supervisors did, she wore a fire-retardant hoodie on top of her hijab, as well as always tucking her headscarf tightly into her coveralls. You have to bite your tongue. I'm a minority so I don't have a say, even though I was born here. Maria Majama, dismissed worker. Like Rashid, Maria Majama, 24, who was also fired, relies on oil patch jobs to cover her living expenses and tuition at York University, where she studies health sciences. Both women are now scrambling to find other employment. Bills are piling up and they fear they won't be able to return to school this fall. Despite this, Gemma decided to speak out about the racist comments she said she has endured in the work camps for the past 3 years, such as, "I can't find work because ISIS is taking all of our jobs. Oh, you speak proper English? Most of you guys don't speak proper English. It's shocking but you have to bite your tongue," said Gemma, who has also filed a human rights complaint and welcomed Husky's investigation. "I'm a minority so I don't have a say, even though I was born here. It makes me feel helpless and useless in the country I was born in," she said. "That's how it is as a black girl in this world. You must go through those obstacles in life.